guess what was your reaction to just seeing Anthony get back in the starting role?
No, yeah. Honestly, I'm excited for him. I feel like the locker room, we all knew that at some point he was going to get another opportunity, and I'm excited what he's going to do with it. You know what I'm saying? He's had 2 weeks, sitting on the sideline and going through that whole process and everything. And the guy's always had his back, and I'm just excited to see what he's going to do this weekend.
Let's say you learned some things just kind of talking and watching some of you even on defense. It was something he hadn't thought about a lot until recently. Yeah. So how did you go about navigating that, just trying to be a leader or a mentor or a teammate when he was kind of going through this?
Yeah, just trying to really just, help him with, trying to help him with some routine stuff, day-to-day stuff, you know what I'm saying? Look, like, as a player, to go where you've never been and become the player that you want to be, you got to be willing to do things that you've never done. You know what I'm saying? And make certain sacrifices you've never made. And I feel like within this process, this past 2 weeks, he's been able to really see that, and that's what gives us so much confidence in him, knowing that it's he's rooted in the process, and he's developing as a pro.
Is that understanding that? Is that something players have to learn? Like, you don't necessarily get here with that knowledge, I guess. Is that fair?
No, definitely. And especially with how young he is, you know what I'm saying? And we put, the quarterback position in this league, it's already, there's a very high standard for it. And, some guys got to learn that and experience that, you know what I'm saying? And for him as a young player, for one of the youngest in the league, it's a lot to put on, a person's plate. You know what I'm saying? I can never say, I've been through that experience, because I haven't. You know what I'm saying? I haven't with that position. But I have experienced that type of pressure, a very high standard, being one of the first pick, when I was coming out, being the team's first pick, having all these high expectations and living up to the hype and all that kind of stuff, and dealing with that type of pressure. And so I have experienced that part of it. And, really just being able to look at some of the vets on the team and develop a routine and learn how to become a pro along the way. I had a little bit more time to develop that, and a little bit more grace for sure. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes you got, it gets overlooked on how young he is, and some of the grace that you need to give some of these young quarterbacks coming into the league. But I think that this was a good learning curve for him for sure. Yeah.
Within that grace, how blunt can you be with a teammate? And he knows, like, I guess what the standard is now. But
yeah, no.
From where you with him?
Yeah. Sometimes some guys you need to be blunt. You need to be straightforward, because at the end of the day, he knows, and everybody in this building knows, like, when a teammate's coming at you, straightforward on certain things, like, it's coming from a place of love. You know what I mean? We all have the same goal. We all have the same goals for this team, and we all want to go in the same direction. And so when you can really set the, not take it personal and set it aside and really learn from what what your teammates telling you, and really apply it, we can go somewhere. And I feel like he's capable of putting the personal aside and really really seeing that from guys coming to him and helping him out and everything like that. It's not coming from any other place than love.
You've talked about like Glenn Dorsey and the impact he had on you early in your career. Have you thought about that, like, at all over the last couple of weeks, about like how you can impact Anthony just with like some of those lessons?
No, definitely. I was, as a leader today, I've had guys that I've learned from, like Glenn Dorsey, guys that weren't even on my team, like the Michael Bennett's. You know what I'm saying? He played for the Seahawks, but he went out of his way to reach out to me right before my rookie season, telling me to come work with him. And so I was like, I jumped at that opportunity, and I learned a lot from him. Not just from in the game, but off the field too. You know what I'm saying? And I actually just hit him up, Mike. I haven't talked to him in a while, and we were chatting up actually a couple weeks ago, and I just told him how much I appreciated, the leadership that he gave me, and some of the gems that he's given me, and helped me become a pro.
When the first change was made from Anthony to Joe, Shane told us that, like, he was making that decision because he thought that Joe gave you guys the best chance to win.
Yeah.
Now that you're going back to Anthony, does this team still believe that you can make a playoff run?
Yeah, definitely. You know what I'm saying? Each and every week we strive to. That's one of the main goals in our in this building is to make it the playoffs. You know what I'm saying? And that's one of the first steps. And whatever decision that Shane makes, we're going to ride with, and we're going to get behind. Like I said before, whoever's under center, and I'm very excited for Anthony.
When it comes to like the love of the game, football, I know all the guys in the locker room love it, but becoming a pro even for yourself, not just Anthony, but did you have to reevaluate? Okay, how much do I love this, and what am I willing to give to this?
Yeah,
it's easy to love it on game day, if that makes sense.
No, yeah, definitely. I've had times, early in my career where it was like, okay, how much do I really love this? You know what I mean? What am I willing to sacrifice? Because at the end of the day, there's a price that needs to be paid, and what's the price that I'm willing to pay? You know what I'm saying? And so everybody has their own price that they pay each and every day. Coming into this building and each and every week, how much they put into it, and the game is like that where as much as you put in it, that's what you're going to get out of it. So, that's a one-on-one conversation that you have with yourself each and every day.
How do you tell when a guy is young and doesn't know versus a guy who isn't going to get it? Because I'm sure there's some that aren't they're just not going to.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I've had teammates like that. You know what I'm saying? And I would say the guys that don't get it, and they're willing to be coachable and to open up and be vulnerable and understand. You know what I'm saying? And that's the type of person and player that Anthony is. You know what I mean? He wants to be great, and he's willing to listen. And that's why we have so much confidence in him and belief in him.
On the Jets, they haven't been putting up a ton of points this year on offense, but they've obviously got Rodgers, Adams, those guys. Like, having faced Rodgers before in your career, like, how do you kind of talk to some of the younger guys in this team about the threat that he is as a quarterback, even if maybe the tape and the numbers haven't been there?
No, yeah, we were actually just watching. We ended our meeting with just watching some of his escapes and how he extends plays and stuff like that. People are saying he's not as mobile as he used to be, but I mean he's still mobile. You know what I mean? He can still find ways to to get out of trouble and little things like that. And the way he gets the ball out quick. Can really put a toll on a D-line and frustrate a D-line. And as a front, we just got to do a really good job with, keep them in the pocket and really continue to stay after it, because we know the back end's going to, they're going to do their thing and try to make them hitch, give us that extra step and extra second that we can get to them. So, the guys know how big of a threat he is. And obviously with the addition of Devontae out there and with a really good receiver as well with Garrett Wilson, I mean, he's got weapons. So, up front, we just got to, make sure that we do our job, do our part, and making the pocket uncomfortable for all day.
Still just one game out of the wild card right now. What's your mentality heading into this game against the Jets, which could be a big tiebreaker later on?
Mentality is to win.
Just observing Anthony from afar, I don't know how much you've interacted, but just observing him from afar, what have you seen in the last couple of weeks in terms of focus and, I don't know, anything?
Yeah, really been locked in, really been focused. I mean, he was before, but when someone just has a little edge to him, just making sure every single last detail, every single thing that they're doing is with a purpose. So I think you could just see that, you could feel that from him throughout these past few weeks. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for him. Because he has a chance to have another opportunity. These chances are few and far to come by in this league, so I'm excited that he has another chance to go out there and display his talent for the world.
What do you think it's like growing into that job as a quarterback? I mean, you know what I mean? Like, your job is so different. And what do you think that's like?
That's a totally different breed. I mean, there are certain things that we do as running backs, or certain things that defensive linemen, O-linemen do throughout the course of their careers that a quarterback will never know. But there are a ton of things that we'll never know, that sacrifices a QB has to make, the time, dedication. So I just know that's a different beast. And to come in that young and to have to learn that, I know it's tough. I don't know if I'd be able to do it. But I just think he's handled it. He's handled it the best that he could, because it's a tough situation. But he's up for it. He has that mentality. He's up for the challenge. He's a fighter. He's a competitor. So I'm excited.
Josh, as a teammate, what's the balance between giving a guy grace but also holding him accountable?
Oh, you always want to hold guys accountable, especially one of the leaders. But like I said, that's a territory that's really uncharted for a lot of us. I mean, he's not even a rookie anymore, but just a young NFL quarterback coming in with not a lot of experience. trying to learn that along the way. You know, a lot of guys usually come in and learn, oh, let me ask the vets for routines for my body and take care of my body, little things like that. But to prepare and learn how to become an NFL franchise quarterback, yeah, that's a tough task. But only the strong survive, and he's a strong young man.
Did it surprise you? Because it was the COVID year, but like you got to come in with Phillip. Did the routine surprise you? Like how much he had to do when you were a rookie?
Yeah, I mean, and Phillip had his whole routine. I even asked about his routine back when he was in San Diego, and he used to take a drive, like an hour-long drive, had a van with film in there. So that's why I mentioned there are some things that these NFL quarterbacks do that none of us will ever know. But being able to be alongside guys like that, Matt Ryan, just these NFL vets, future Hall of Famers, to know, like, this is what an NFL quarterback looks like. And we know the thing is, it's kind of changing now, you know, just the dynamic of quarterbacks. But you kind of see that process that they have, and it's very intensive. It's very thoughtful.
They don't like to tell us those routines, but they're like down to like almost a minute, right?
Yeah, those guys. It's so much time allocated, as in like any NFL player is a lot of time allocated. NFL quarterback is over here, like they're in their whole different realm.
Knowing how badly Anthony wants to play and wanted to be out there over the last 2 weeks, like what did it mean to you that he still was like high-fiving you guys coming off the field and trying to bring some energy to the sideline even though he wasn't playing?
It just showing how much he loves the game. He wants to be part of a team. He wants to be part of this organization. He loves football, and I think that just shows you a guy who loves football. He's like, okay, well, obviously everyone wants to go out there and play, but if I'm not, well, I'm going to do my best to encourage my teammates, encourage the quarterback, encourage the O-line, so that everyone is out there firing. Because at the end of the day, we all are on one team, and we all have one common goal, and that's to go and chase championships.
We all kind of saw that, those moments, right, of Anthony on the field high-fiving you guys. Were there other moments, like behind the scenes, that showed you, hey, man, like, he really does love football. He really is dedicated to this over the last couple of years.
Yeah, even throughout the building, like you said, you guys, won't be on, in the building with us, but even throughout the building, we're watching film. He's making comments on plays we're making or throws that the quarterback is making, good throw. Like I said, we all want to be out there, but if not, then how can I best help support this team? What energy can I use to put forth to this team to help us win football games?
When he's out there, he's standing next to you there in the backfield. How's the offense? How's the dynamic maybe of the offense different than it is from maybe a Joe or out there or Matt Ryan?
Well, he brings a unique skill set. So then now it puts the defenses in a bind. They have to pick their poison. They have to figure out how do we want to defend this play, this scheme, the formation that they're in. So it's a whole different dynamic that gets added when he's in the game, and that's what makes him special, and that's what makes it so tough for defenses to defend.
With that dynamic, and you're coming off another 100-yard game, I guess. What excites you about like putting those two things together? The way he manipulates defensive personnel with just having two of those guys in the backfield. What do you think you guys can do?
Yeah, definitely. Number one, you always have to account for him. Even if he takes a step left, a step right, there better be somebody there accounting for him. Otherwise, they're going to pay. But I'm excited to see the plays that he makes. Like I said, he's coming into his own, and just be able to see those plays. You guys see it, each and every single week he's out there. There's always, a few plays that you're like, man, I don't know too many other people that can do that. So that's always a special moment for me.
In moments like this, when Anthony obviously for 2 weeks didn't get what he wanted, what do you think that says about his character to still behave a certain way when you're not getting individually maybe what you dreamed of or things like that?
I think it shows a level of discipline, maturity, because like I mentioned, of course, everyone wants to go out there and play. That's everyone's goal. We're all competitors. But for him to then have that competitive mindset, well, okay, how can I still give my all, be my best when I'm not on the field? I think that just shows a level of his maturity.
Hey, just one quick one. There have been a couple games where you've had huge first halves. Maybe you didn't get the ball as much in the second half because of the game situation. If you guys could put yourself in a situation where you can ice it, I know you want to finish the game, right, with the ball in your hands. What does that bring, and I guess what's that opportunity like for you to be able to finish it?
It's awesome, especially with the guys up front, because now it's not like, okay, I'm doing it by myself. It's like I'm talking to the guys up front like, hey, let's put this thing to bed. Let's put this thing to bed and let's go home. Like, let's finish with the ball in our hands, like you said. So it's always a great feeling, especially when you get first down after first down towards the end of a game and you just know we're just winding the clock down. It's a special moment between not only myself, the guys up front, but then as well as the receivers. They play a great deal in making sure that, you know, those edges are sealed, backers are getting blocked. Like, they do a lot. So it's definitely a great feeling when you can finish with the ball in your hands at the end of the game.
Kenny, how do you feel your message in the locker room from this past weekend was received by all the team?
I think it was appreciated, it was respected, and happy we're moving forward.
Moving forward with Anthony now, are you excited to see him back under center, see what he can do?
I am. I know what it's like being a young player, and you just want to gain the respect, the trust of your teammates, and he's just doing all he can to work hard, and I'm proud of him for doing that and doing all he can to get back on the practice field.
Did you personally have to learn how to develop as a pro when you were younger, and then what's the level of a cornerback developing as a pro as opposed to a franchise quarterback, perhaps being a leader of the entire
Yeah, I have no idea what goes into being a starting quarterback for a franchise that has obviously been doing their best to get a quarterback here. But from my personal experience, yeah, it's been crazy trying to, you know, obviously get into the league and remain in the league. And playing at a high level isn't an easy task. A lot is asked from you. So, you know, from a quarterback standpoint, I can't imagine, you know, what he has to deal with. And he has all the respect from me, and I know he has all the respect from the locker room.
When Shane first made the decision to go to Joe, he told us that it was because he thought Joe gave you guys the best chance to win. Mm-hmm. Does this team still feel like it has a good chance to make the playoffs down the stretch?
Of course. I mean, that's why we play this game. That's why we're in this locker room, because we believe. And so, yeah, by committee or whatever, you know, decision that they make, the team has rallied behind it, and we're all excited to see Anthony back out.
Kenny, as he said, the captains kind of came together and said we got to rally around this guy and make sure he's good. So what was that conversation like, just to give him that support and know that, you know, it's not the end?
I think just from that meeting in general, it's more so just gaining an understanding. I think, you know, just from everybody that had that meeting, it was more so an eye-opener of, like, everything that he has to deal with and everything that he has on his shoulders to go forward. So, you know, just having that respect and appreciation for him to even, you know, open up and, you know, be vulnerable in that sense. But it was great. I think we made a lot of progress this week, and looking forward to it. And, you know, things won't happen overnight, but I think if all of us are on the same page, then we know the direction that we're going.
As the teammate, like, what's the line between giving grace but also being like, okay, there's got to be some accountability here? Not just for Anthony, but anybody, really.
I think, you know, you see how this person is attacking each day, and how are they attacking the game, and how we're going to go, you know, as a team. So, yeah, I think everything is watched, everything that everybody is doing around here. And so you just want to make sure that teammates are, you know, serious about their job and serious about the team. So, you know, at the end of the day, you just want to do your best to put the team first.
Gus shared about how the two of you had a conversation just coming off kind of what you said last week, and he was trying to emphasize to you kind of stand by what you said and use this to kind of find solutions. I guess, what does it mean to you to have a coach that'll kind of take your back in a moment like that?
I mean, Gus was just telling the truth, and, you know, I respect him doing that in a time like that. I think the world of Gus, he's been there for me, you know, these 3 years, of checking on my spirit. A coach that's not even talking about ball. Like, he's just asking, you know, how you doing? You know, he tells me, you know, I know that you're good and you're in good spirits, like, we got a chance. And so it makes him happy. So, yeah, just having that first and foremost, you know, put your best foot forward each day. And I want to do the same thing for him. So him, Shane, you want to run through a wall for them. So them loving ball, them wanting to put everybody in the best position to win, you want them to get those return off those investments. So,
How do you approach? Sorry, Nate, did you pop there?
Oh yeah, just how does it maybe help that message get through? When, like, Gus, does he kind of set an example where, like, he's willing to embrace criticism, he's willing to embrace changes and the things he's doing? Does that kind of play into it?
Play into what?
Just like we talk about finding solutions, and he talks about having hard conversations and, like, telling guys kind of what they need to do. Does he kind of help set an example for, like, you know, is he willing to kind of take critique and feedback and and implement some of that in what he's doing?
You know, they are at the forefront of, you know, setting those foundations, setting those meeting rooms to, you know, not taking it personal, but, you know, taking this criticism or anything constructive for us to go in the right direction. So I think just having them as coaches, setting that example and being those people to lead the meeting rooms, to lead, you know, at practice and everything, I think that's what gives everybody the clarity and the positivity that we're doing something right here. So everything that happened along this week, I know that we're making progress and we're going in the right direction.
Kenny, how do you balance, like, New York only scored 6 points last week, but they've got Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, Garrett Wilson, Breece Hall, these like superstar players as you're preparing for them this week?
It's not just last week. I mean, they're trying to get it. They're trying to get it going. I think like anybody else in the league, this is a new week because it's a new team, and so we just gotta, you know, attack this game as, you know, it's a big game.
How do Rodgers and Adams like challenge you guys as a secondary? I think you played them with 2020 back then. Like how does that connection challenge a secondary?
I think first and foremost, you know, just his high IQ. You know, he's not like every other quarterback. He is elite. So, and he still has it. So, pre-snap, he's able to get you to jump off sides, and he has those type of pre-snap penalties to extend the play, extend the drive. So, that, and as well as, you know, his ability to throw the football, his ability to know what the defense is in. He take in all this information to know what we're in, so he knows how to attack us. So, just staying disciplined as a team, as a defense, and, you know, attacking with what they give us.